So ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be a fun module because you have so much excitement inside of you. You know, we've been laying such strong foundations this entire phase. And I know part of you is just like, all right, when can I really get this thing going, right? Because here's the thing. As much as these concepts are great, I know for you, you're going to have that feeling of, wow, I really have an agency here, right? And I guess, you know, in all fairness, you did partly do it in the last module, when you really start to set up the core components of your agency. You know, things like picking a name, which we'll actually get into right here. Things like setting up your G Suite, your domain, getting all your little trinkets in a row. For example, things like setting up your website. Like that whole experience of, as I said, really just taking what's an idea in your mind right now and making it something tangible and something you can visually see. So, with no further ado, let's get straight into loading the rifle. Ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be an exciting module, loading the rifle. So in today's teaching, we're going to go over how to go about company structure and taxes, my story with managing my company, separating business and personal expenses, credit cards, debit cards, and when to use what, picking an agency name, getting your domain and setting up G Suite, contracting or crafting a logo, website plug and play, Facebook and Ads Manager plug and play, as well as social media plug and play. So let's talk about company structure. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to start off by saying that I am not a tax advisor. So make sure you go ahead and seek out your own legal advice. Now that that's out the way, let me just give you advice. But obviously, I'm not a tax advisor, and this is not legal advice. Now, in phase 3 of this program, we're really going to dive deep into managing cash flow, the different sorts of companies, how to set them up, when I recommend use what sort of company, et cetera, et cetera. And then further to that, we even have a bonus program in, the custom platform where there's, a full, I think 12 modules on accounting specifically in the US, but you can take those principles and apply it in most places. So what I want to do right now is, I know you might be wondering, as you're going through these, as you're going from this module to the module where I do a real deep dive in terms of accounting, company structure, et cetera, in phase 3, you might be a little antsy. So I just want to go ahead and tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about it, because in pretty much most jurisdictions, you might be thinking, oh, man, but what if I sign a client and I don't have a company and it's this and that? Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand that in most jurisdictions, for example, in the UK, you have a tax-free allowance of £10,000, or I believe it's I think 11,500. But the point is that in pretty much all countries, you have some tax-free allowance anyways, right? It's not like you need to file your taxes straight away. So the only thing that you need to do right now, if you haven't already, you don't need to create a company or anything like that yet. All you need to do is just make sure that you are registered as a taxpayer, right? So for example, in the UK, you just go register as self-employed, register as a sole trader, and what you'll get is a UTR, unique taxpayer reference, right? Now, if you're in the States, or you're in France or Spain or Indonesia or Australia or UAE, or there's different ways, but just remember the government wants you to pay tax, right? And if you're actively going out there and searching, hey, how do I show the government that I'm working now and I'm self-employed? It's not going to be hard, right? Just remember, as long as you are setting money aside for taxes and you're keeping very clean books, and we'll talk about that in phase 3, you have nothing to worry about, okay? So I just really wanted to cover that real quick, and we'll get into some very hefty information in phase 3. But for now, as I said, just make sure you are registered as self-employed, a contractor, whatever it may be in your country. So that way there is some taxpayer identification, linked to you. And as I said, that's really all that you have to do. So real quick, I just want to talk about staying organized when it comes to your expenses and whatnot. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about organization in depth in phase 3. Okay, so don't worry about it. It's something we will come back to. For now, I really just want to say that even expenses, like for example, this program, right? This program is in pretty much most countries considered, well, it's 100% an expense, right? Pretty much 99% of countries, because this is an educational expense, right? And this is a training expense, right? For you as a person or a business. But because you bought this program in pretty much, as I said, 90% of countries, you can still check, but pretty much most Western countries, that's for sure. This will be considered an expense that was necessary in order to get your business off of the ground, right? So you can go ahead and you can business expense this. So In terms of organization, just create a Google Drive. And instead, we'll talk about this more in phase 3. But just create a Google Drive and just create the year, right? First thing, the year, then the month, then just revenue and expenses, right? So for example, if you have no clients, then this month your expenses may be this and maybe a couple softwares, and just throw the receipts in there. And this is really all you need to do to keep organized from day one, right? It's very, very simple. So as I said, do not fret. In phase 3, we go in detail. And then as I said, there's that additional bonus course by the e-com accountant, aka Chris. And as I said, his entire company, that's literally what they do. They work with agencies and e-commerce brands and do their accounting. So he'll be going into even further detail in there. But as I said, for now, very simple. Just make sure you're organized. Now, another thing that I will discuss in phase 3 is credit cards. Now, I urge, and one of the big things that I wish I had done sooner is using credit cards, right? Getting an Amex. Now, here's the thing. If you have a history of, paying off things late, or for paying for stuff and putting it on credit cards when you really couldn't afford that thing, if you have a history of that, then obviously avoid Amexes and avoid credit cards in general. But for most people, if you just start off with the no-fee Amex, even if you just put a few $100s a month of expenses on there, it'll do wonders in terms of building up your credit. But once again, that's something we'll go in detail in phase 3. Now, let's go ahead and decide on a name. Now, look, this process of choosing a name should not take you more than 24 hours, okay? Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, you cannot have a worse name than IAG Media.
Oh my God. What is that?
Now, the way that it came about is obviously IAG, it's, my initials, and then media, just because, So when I decided on a name, which was May of 2017, at that point, the agency was a creative agency. And funnily enough, for the 2 months prior to that the agency actually was taking off, I just operated as me. Like, that was it. Like, I almost operated as a contractor, but saying I was an agency. So IAG Media makes no sense for what we do now, because for the last 3 years, we've done basically exclusively advertising. So I've been wanting to rebrand for so long, but it's just, there's one domain that I've literally offered $70,000 for. It's been turned down many times. It's an absolute ball ache. I want it to be something very, very special, especially considering that we're moving to a private equity agency incubator model. So, like, imagine, like, you tell your friends, like, oh, so who's your new investor? Like, who'd you give 25 or 30% of your business to? Oh, IAG Media. Like, it just doesn't sound very cool, right? So I want something that's a little bit more evergreen, a little bit more timeless. So I guess my point in saying that is, whatever your name is, it can't be worse than mine. But let me give you a few, sort of naming tips. Now, here's one very big thing to keep in mind. You most likely will not sell your agency, but I believe you should still leave the door open for it, right? So basically don't do what I did, which is don't ever use your initials or your name in there and then have like that consulting, that media, that digital, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you don't want to have anything linked to you, right? And you really want to set the tone with your name. I think your name, I've realized over the years, is more important than I thought, but still, as I said, not something you need to spend more than 24 hours on. It doesn't need to make sense either. Now, I'll give you an example of a really good agency name, and it's actually one of my closest friends, Aries Advertising. Like, it just rolls off the tongue. It doesn't necessarily make sense, but it's just cool, right? And he's built a little bit of a brand around it. It just makes sense, right? So if you can choose a nice name and then do like a nice name, but that has nothing to do with you, so it's not your last name, it's not your initials or anything. If you can do that advertising or that digital, usually that works very, very well. Or for example, with me, what I'm looking to rebrand to, it's more of what you would consider a traditional brand. Okay, it doesn't say advertising or digital or this or that anywhere in the name. So if you can find a word that you really like, then get that, and then just get the .com URL or get the .io. That works very, very well as well, and just do it that way. But ladies and gentlemen, really don't overthink this. As I said, just write down a bunch of names, and then just whichever one appeals to you, just go for that. And I'll give you a tool that you can use for some very, very good inspiration here as well. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Namelix, right? So this is a business name generator. So what you're going to do is you're going to put in there, some keywords or, some things that maybe relate to what you think your agency do. Or maybe you start off, you find a really good word, a word that you like, and that's kind of like your nucleus. And then from there, that spawns off, other different variations and different ideas. So you're going to type in that keyword, and then you're going to press generate. And as I said, it's going to give you a bunch of ideas. Now, some of these will be paid domain names, right? Obviously, those you want to avoid. You want to find something that's free and that you can get with Google domains on the spot. Next up, let's talk about loading the rifle. So now that you've decided on a name, it is time to go to Google domains. Now, your domain hosting will cost you roughly around $10 per year. And once you have that domain, then you're able to create a business email from that. And you can do that with G Suite, right? Now, once you've registered that Google domain And then from there, you've created a business email, because once you have the Google domain, from there, you're able to access the G Suite admin sort of workspace. And it said from there, you're able to add more users, right? So a user is just a business email, right? So you create a business email for yourself. And then the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to just open up a new tab. Just type in Zoom on Google Workplace Marketplace. A little bit of a handful. But basically, what this marketplace is all the tools that you can attach to your G Suite, right? So what you can, what this allows you to do basically is whenever you are sending a Google invitation to someone, you can actually select, rather than pressing on Google Meeting, you can select on Zoom Meeting, and it'll automatically populate a Zoom meeting, and you'll have the link directly there within the Google invitation that you've sent to someone. Great. Now you have your domain set up, you have a business email set up, and then you've also connected Zoom to your G Suite sort of admin, right? So that way, whenever you have an event, you can automatically populate a Zoom meeting from that. So we've gone ahead and covered all those. Now, what we need to do is set up your ads manager as well as business manager. And I have a full plug and play to show you guys exactly how to do that. So first things first is we're going to need to create a business manager, ad account, and pixel for you. So that way we can run ads, cheap retargeting ads later down the line. So first things first is set up the business manager. You just click there. Now, once you've set up your business manager, then you create your business page. Okay, so this is a business page for your agency. We're not really going to use it for content or anything like that, but if we ever advertise, we do need a business page, right? So just click here and you can go ahead and do that. Next, we want to add the business page to the business manager. Okay, so here's how we do it. We go to business settings, below accounts, click pages, click plus, add, select a page, enter the Facebook page name or URL, and there we go. It's as simple as that. Next thing is we want to create 3 ad accounts, okay? We want to make sure we have some backup ad accounts. Now, here's how we do it. We go to business settings, click accounts, and click add accounts, create a new ad account, choose, create a new ad account. And you want to repeat this process 2 times after Facebook has successfully charged your card to give a total of 3 ad accounts. So 1 main and 2 backups. So basically what you have to do is you create an ad account and then just run a cheap honestly, just a random ad for your agency. Just do cold targeting, run it. It can really say anything. Just make sure you don't put anything stupid. Then Facebook actually allows you to create 2 backup ad accounts. And last thing is you want to go to the Pixels tab in Events Manager. Make sure you have your business manager selected. Sometimes the Facebook automatically selects your personal profile. Okay, so you don't want that, which is not the one we want. So make sure that it is the business manager and not the personal profile for advertising. Okay, so as I said, you can double check that by clicking on your profile picture on the left portion of the screen and making sure the right business manager is selected. Then you just want to go ahead and create a pixel. Now you don't need to set up or install the pixel anywhere for now. Just leave it there and we'll install it on the website later down the line. Now we've covered a lot of ground here and the next step is website. Now my team at the agency actually has spent so many hours building this out for you. Luis, who's one of our superstars at the agency, he's the one who does all the photo builds for our clients and stuff like that. And he's been working full-time for me for a while. Absolute superstar. He has gone ahead and created 20 website variations for you. You heard that correctly. You have 20 website options. So what it is basically it's 5 different variations and then 4 color palettes for each. Because this way, none of you guys, or very few of you guys, should have matching websites, okay? So what we've really gone ahead and done is we've just given you so many options that you can just go ahead and pluck and choose from, okay? And then whichever one works best for you, you just go and you use that. Now, the biggest key here is still customization and really, making this website your own, really just slotting in your own information. And the other thing with these websites, some of them are better for beginners, some of them are better for those who already have, testimonials, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the other thing, and this is something me and the team had long discussions about, is which platform will we build it on? There was 3 we were looking at. Obviously, ClickFunnels, tried and tested, Wix, or Webflow. Now, Webflow is what we use for some of our clients, and it is extremely, extremely complicated, right? And it's very not beginner-friendly whatsoever. Wix was great, but the issue was we weren't able to share like the website with, with this, you literally get a 1-click integration, right? Whereas with Wix, we weren't able to do that. So for a long time, I was debating whether to go with ClickFunnels or Webflow. The thing is, we still use ClickFunnels at the agency. Like our agency website is still built with ClickFunnels, right? It's the base ClickFunnels, and then we do some custom CSS. All of our funnels are built out on ClickFunnels. Either way, the onboarding funnel is built out on ClickFunnels. So, I know it is a little pricier than Webflow, for example. But honestly, I guess, the proof is kind of in the pudding. Like, we're still using it at our agency and for our own internal agency stuff. And for me, that's always my goal with you guys, is to never recommend stuff that we're not using personally. And also, as the years go by and we change, tools that we use, always update and keep you guys on loop. For example, we used to use Acuity scheduling for, years and years, and then we swapped over to Calendly and haven't looked back since. And with the agency, when it comes to website, the onboarding, the funnels that we run for ads, we've still yet to go off of ClickFunnels. And that really is a testament to them and just how good they are. So you guys literally get 20 website variations, and then you also get 5 variations of onboarding funnel because obviously they're the exact same of those core website funnels. So we've given you absolutely everything you need to have a beautiful looking website, and really no need for you to ever spend a few $100s on this Upwork web developer or anything like that. So let me go ahead and show you how to set this up click by click. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the website setup. Things to keep in mind: this entire process should not take more than 1 day. Clients care about results and value conveyed, not your website. Okay, so just don't spend too long, don't spend like a week on this, okay? And bear in mind, I even got to $10,000 plus a month with no website and not even an agency name, right? So first things first, you're gonna do. But with that being said, I think in 2018 and 2017, I was very stubborn about like, agency website doesn't really matter. And then when we upgraded and updated our agency website in 2020, it has done so much for us. And really, it's as well about the utility. The most important thing with the website is, how can I have the easiest path for a client to actually take that next step with me? That is the biggest and most important aspect of the website. So first things first is set up ClickFunnels. Now, you can get a 14-day free trial with this link right here. When you click on that link right there, what it'll do is it will open up ClickFunnels. And as I said, you can just go ahead and start your 14-day free trial right there. Now, once you are inside of ClickFunnels, you're going to go ahead and download the templates right here. So you can see this will automatically port into your ClickFunnels. And you can see right here, we have template 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 2, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and list kind of goes on and on. And you can just go ahead and you can just look through, each of these ones and just see which one you like, right? And speaking of which one you like, just go ahead and choose the templates, right? Instead, we have 5 different templates with 4 different color variations each, leaving you 20 different website templates to choose from. So first, we have 3D video banner website. Okay, and you can see a live example here. Okay. Then next template we have is local business agency clean website. Here's a live example. Right? Now, the overall clean design of this website conveys a professional and modern look for your agency. This template is a great one for agencies that work with local businesses, as it is all tailored to that specific niche, although you can also customize it to fit your specific niche if needed. Okay? Then you can see the templates right here. Now, this template takes a more minimalistic approach of the last one, okay, while still conveying the professional and cutting edge look. If the fancy 3D video or colorful iStyle doesn't fit your brand, this template comes as an ideal option. Next, we have performance-focused agency website. Now, the variety of graphs presented on this template convey a performance-focused image to your brand. Not only that, but the one-color look is a great feature for agencies that want to have strong branding. Okay, so we have this one right here. So we have template number 4, and actually there should be a 5th one, but I guess I will show you right here, the 5th one. You can see right here, this is the 5th one. Let me open it up. So you can see right here, this is what it looks like. Now, by the time that this video actually goes live to you, we will have updated that plug and play so you can see the 5th variation as well. Now, step number 4 is coming in and customizing your template. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and read all of this off because, that's really what the point of the plug and plays are for. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change all the SEO metadata. We're going to make the links look super pretty. We're going to set up, what your specific homepage is. And then the next thing is we are going to create your custom thank you page. Okay. Now, this is the thank you page the users are redirected to after they schedule a call with you or your team. Now, I didn't include pre-made thank you pages because that would mean having 40 different pages inside the same funnel, which would get too confusing for most people. Now, if you follow the steps above correctly, you should only have one page in your funnel, and we are now going to create the second and last page, which keeps things much more simple than having 40 different pages, right? So just go ahead and follow the other steps above, and you'll end up with just 2 pages, the thank you page, as well as sort of your main homepage, okay? Now, there's going to be some super in-depth ClickFunnels training later on in the process. But for now, you can just go ahead and, I've gone ahead and broken down, hey, what's a section? What's a element? What's this? What's that? Okay, so you can go ahead and fill that all out. Next thing is link domain to ClickFunnels, okay? Now, straight out of the box, ClickFunnels gives us an ugly domain like emangadget.clickfunnels.com. Instead, we want to have a clean link, something like eman-gadget.com. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and find tutorials on how to add it to your external custom domains, right? Which for 95% of you guys, you should be using. Because you bought it with Google Domains, you go ahead and you set up this way. Now here is a tutorial for integrating your subdomain with ClickFunnels. So for some of you guys, maybe you already have a website that you really like with Webflow, with Wix, with WordPress, maybe, right? So what you can do is you can have a go dot. So let's just say, in my example, go.ieg-media.com, right? So I'm going to use ClickFunnels in that case just for maybe just for a funnel that I have, or maybe just for the onboarding funnel, right? Just for those specific ones. Okay. And that's where, there's a use case, like for example, with Guru Agency, that's something that we do a lot because we have our main domain and sort of our main big daddy website. And then anything we do outside of that in terms of funnels or in terms of, different sort of funnels that we run. For that, a lot of times we'll use Go Dot. Now, step number 6 is go ahead and connect to Calendly. Now, you would have already set up your Calendly account in the Craftsman's Tool module. Now it's time to embed it on your website page. Now, to do so, just log into the Calendly event and copy the link for the event you created. You can do so by clicking copy link on that specific event. And then just go ahead and follow these instructions in terms of embedding it. By the way, guys, if any of this looks super complicated, honestly, it's all like drag and drop, copy paste. It really is very, very simple. And you can see right here, I also show you how to set up the thank you page and stuff like that. And then I also go ahead and show you how to put a pixel on the website. So how to actually find your pixel inside of Facebook and how to actually apply it inside of the funnel. So ladies and gentlemen, this is quite a long plug and play, but it is very, very extensive. Make sure you go through it and you should have no issues whatsoever. So ladies and gentlemen, the next thing we need to cover is optimizing your social profiles. Now this is in terms of, it's not really optimizing. In terms of optimizing, this is stuff we're going to talk about later down the line in terms of like how to actually have the best possible profile, so that way you get leads, responding to you, maybe even inbound leads coming to you. For now, it's more about cleaning your social profiles, aka having your social profiles not do any damage to your prospect of outreaching, right? So for this, I've gone ahead and created a plug and play where, you may have some photos that aren't too flattering, or your social media may not be the most conducive to signing clients. And by the end, you're going to have absolutely everything that you need. And by the end, you are going to have a very good, slick, clean looking profile that you can work from. So let's go ahead and look at this plug and play, cleaning your social profiles. So before you start, you're going to need your primary email and login information, backgroundchecks.org, and Canva account. So you just want to go ahead and delete some accounts, right? And you can go ahead and use this service, and it provides a list of account setting pages that you can click into directly. So the first thing that you may want to do is just outright delete some accounts. But there's some social profiles that really you will never use when it comes to outreach, or maybe you want to delete the old profiles that you have, and that way start off with a clean slate. Now, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and optimize Facebook. Now, in order to do that, I've given you a long list of check marks that you need to work through and questions that you really need to ask yourself in terms of, how private or public do you want to be. Next thing is Instagram. Okay, you want to go ahead and just, have a personal account. You want to have an outreach account, agency account, and this is maybe just something you want to think about. Which one of these do I want to have? Okay. And then last thing here, in terms of your agency account, I've just gone ahead and given some examples of what a mock account would look like. So ladies and gentlemen, the action step for today is complete the Facebook Business and Ads Manager plus social profile cleanup, plug and play before you move on to the next module. Then tomorrow, I want you to assign some time to go through the website plug and play, because that one is a bit more of a big daddy. So as I said, that one will take some time. So you want to assign really a full day in order to get that done. So ladies and gentlemen, a very technical module for you guys, but as I said, as always, everything is accompanied by a plug and play that you can just work through and get all the information that you need. So I hope you guys enjoyed this module. I hope you guys enjoy the fact that you have 20 different website variations you can work through. Your website is going to look stunning, and I'll see you guys in the next phase.